in an interesting way, we created this vertical wall, and with a cross-section of the ribbons, we did all of the host cards. You see the bride and groom's initials at the, bride and groom's initials at the base of the aisle. And these 4 fountains around the top of the aisle, a beautiful view of Mar-a-Lago in the background. Also, you'll see here, you notice like the backs of the chairs. I never do all matching because I think it's too easy to do it that way. So when you see like some of these tables and some of these ceremonies, you see there's a naked chair, there's a full slip cover, there's a half slip cover. It just makes it much more interesting to the eye. It adds texture to what we're doing. And it shows attention to detail. And attention to detail is really one way to get someone's attention. Then we make our way into the wedding reception. You can see how we actually built this enchanted forest inside of a gilded formal ballroom. Put the bride and groom's initials in the back of their chairs. Beautiful mirrored tabletops. So it's a little bit of garden goes glam, GG in the room. And I love that way we served the soup. So the soup was this little teaspoon on a piece of bread, and then they came around and they poured the hot soup from the coffee pourer. So what was meant to be hot was hot, and cold is cold. And once again, they're those shooters. I use them every time and they never let me down. And you can make them with tequila or vodka. It's your choice. I like a bit of both. So some culinary trends, what's in, what's out, okay? On the left, miniaturization. All small things are in a big way. So like one bite. What's out is certainly giant proportions. It's not about the all-you-can-eat buffet anymore. In the idea of doing pairings. So see what we've got on the right here. These are miniature little fish tacos. And you've got small little bottles of Avion tequila. We made margaritas. So it becomes a great experience. You have the tequila and I go with the cocktail again. And on the right-hand side, this random assortment of what are called mystery goods is completely out. The idea is everything today, the 2 big buzzwords today in the industry are experience and authentic. Everyone today is trying to create an authentic experience. Even got a website, how do you bring it alive? So these are all the elements that we use to bring our parties alive. Now, 5 years ago, people thought that kale was a small island off the coast of California. Okay? Today it's on every menu. And thank God the truffle oil's out. When they started putting truffle oil on popcorn, I was done. The kale and cauliflower are big in a big way. I think surf and turf, terrible. If God wanted us to have surf and turf, we would have had lobsters with hooves and cows with claws. Do the surf first and then the turf. Trends and appetizers, this idea of miniaturization, look at pairing. Look what we did on the right-hand side here. There's small little miniature bottles of vodka, frozen vodka, with an edible teaspoon, a bit of caviar and some creme fraiche. Like the Coca-Colas there. And the beautiful vegetables, like a bouquet. Isn't that amazing? A cherry tomato. Yeah. And interesting, remember the times when you went to the vegetarian used to get the grilled pork de belle mushroom? Yeah. Right? Boring. Yeah. Vegetarian has become a very, very big thing today, and it's become very exciting cuisine. And some major chefs have really gotten behind this whole vegan movement. So we're seeing a big lot there. I love the idea of really doing beautiful presentation. Look how gorgeous this is on the right-hand side. We did this for an engagement party. We made rings out of pastry and put a bit of caviar on top. One bite. Trends in serving food. Tupper station is fun. You know, we're always looking, how do we reinvent the buffet? So what we did in this particular instance, we created all these small plates. And you came with your own platter, and you picked and decided which ones you wanted. So we had probably 15 different varieties, and each platter could hold about 8 different types. So you helped yourself to, whether it's tomato, mozzarella, zucchini carpaccio, grilled octopus, salamis, prosciutto, and then afterwards the beautiful paella station. And I love, look at the size of these trays. Are about 3 feet in diameter. They're about 36 inches round. Fun way to make a big statement. And of course, the food truck has never been more prevalent than what it is right now. Whether it's a hamburger, or ice cream, or sandwiches, or pale ale, or a beer truck, it's fun to have that truck arrive at the end of the middle of your party, or during cocktails. Family style is important again. I see a lot of people wanting to have more casual events. It's the idea of long tables with beautiful amounts of abundant food. Guests help themselves. It's more casual and a fun interactive way to dine and entertain. Trends in dessert. The candy station. I mean, if you've got a sweet tooth, this is the way to go, girls. There's no question about it. And I like to color code them. So this is all done in shades of silver and white. This is one we did in purple with lime green. And the French macaron has now officially replaced the cupcake. And you can see on the left there the macaroon cakes. And this is also a fun idea. You'd make a cheese station, so on the left-hand side you see all the cheesecakes, and on the right-hand side all the different toppings and all the different sauces. So you get to customize what was a real common idea. We took it from drab to fab. Cocktails and champagne. There's my master mixologist on the left, there's old Bud on the right. Okay? Which one's going to serve you a drink? The well-crafted cocktail, I mean, you'll see it everywhere and everywhere today. It's not just about the gin and tonic anymore. It's about the shape of the ice. It's about the glass. It's about the provenance. It's the same thing with food. We don't want to know that it's organic anymore. We want to know which farm does it come from. That egg is this morning's egg from Snake River Farms, or the fish comes from a certain place. Specialty ice. It's frozen water, but we get excited, don't we? Another thing that takes your cocktail from drab to fab. Shot services. Here you see different types. The two on the left, actually on the extreme left over there, I just did recently for Ryan Seacrest's 40th birthday. And those little ribbons have got Happy Birthday Ryan on them. So once again, a great opportunity to show attention to detail and to personalize something. Beverage server. I sold 175,000 of these in Home Shopping Network. And if you're looking to do a wedding on a budget where you don't have multiple bartenders, you can set up 3 or 4 beverages, 2 alcoholic, 1 non-alcoholic. You put beautiful accoutrement next to them, and you put the garnishes and ice, and guests will, like flies to the honey pot or mosquitoes to the guests. They will find their way to the food source. Tequila. It's my favorite thing. I wish they had one for the morning.
They do.
They do?
It's the same thing.
I had a ginger shot yesterday morning because I figured it would like wake me up, and I felt like that was the morning tequila. But I think tequila is the new vodka.
Yes.
I remember when tequila used to be like a paint stripper,
Yes.
and carburetor cleaner. Today it's a great new cocktail. One of the biggest trends we're seeing is the photo booth. I haven't done a wedding or a party in the last 3 years that didn't have a photo booth. And they keep on getting more and more interesting as technology comes up. Now we're posting videos. You can take that picture, you can post it to Instagram, to Facebook, to Twitter. You can send it to yourself. You can email it to your friends. This was actually particularly interesting. The one on the left-hand side, we did a wedding for 4 days. And we did a hashtag for the bride and the groom's name. And on the last night of the event, we captured everything that had been posted for the 4 days before and projected it onto the wall behind. And then as they were taking their pictures, so they got to see all not only the images that had been posted, but also the tweets that had been tweeted out. It was really fun to like kind of recapitulate the whole thing. On the right-hand side, it's a bit more formal. And then I love the idea of the blackboard. You get to write a wish for the bride and groom. And of course, you know, the more cocktails you have, the more wasted you get, the more crazy you get, the funnier the pictures are. Hard Rock Hotels. So this is to give you an idea where these stories came from and how they emanated. And as I said, you know, for me, attention to detail and quality is incredibly important. So when you walk through these collections, you look how exquisite these fabrics are on the back of these chairs. You know, look at the next table over there. Look at that beading. The crystal beading is 7 inches long on the back of those chairs. I do the same thing for multi-million-dollar parties. And I insisted that Hard Rock would have the appetite and have the budget to be able to bring great style at the most affordable price imaginable. So purple shimmer, you see it right behind us over there. It looks great on the beach. It looks great on the patio. That's the square table. That's the round table. Go and have a look before we leave. Go and look at the overlay and see the work in that custom overlay that was created for this particular table. It's a one of a kind. These were like made to measure specifically for Hard Rock. So the inspiration came from a $12.5 million wedding that we did 3 years ago. And there you see the exact same fabrics that we've used here. See? Identical. This is one of our most popular collections. The brides love color. I also love the idea of doing that sunset ceremony when fire comes alive, when candles come alive. That's a beautiful moment when the sky is that very, very magical. And there's the hot pink, purple, watermelon and mango, the square version, and then the round version. And the inspiration actually came from my niece's wedding 4 years ago in South Africa. I did the whole thing in watermelon and mango. They're beautiful. Sea glass, this was kind of a retro, something from the 1960s. Once again, you'll see I never used the same chair or the same pattern. I love the idea of 3 different fabrics. It makes it interesting. It adds texture. It looks like we worked a little harder. I also like the idea of the serpentine aisle versus the straight aisle. It makes it a bit more interesting. The suspended swing at the back that we use for the florals when the wind's cooperating. And there's the square version of the table and the round version. Look at that beautiful turquoise beading at the bottom of each chair cover. My inspiration here came from a wedding that we did about 3 summers ago in St. Bart's. And you can see how these lovely play of colors come together in turquoise and teal. Insignia, this is kind of where Colin Cowie meets Ralph Lauren in the Dominican Republic. But it's very cool, very sexy, has kind of a nice formalized print to it. I like the runner over the square table. And my inspiration for this came from a wedding they did 5 years ago. This is also a $10 million plus wedding. They did this in Marblehead in Massachusetts. And that was the inspiration. A symphony of navy blue and white with stripes and nautical feeling. That cake, incidentally, then was $75,000. So let me explain to you why. You see all the white applique on the cake? Each one of those is different, right? And every one of those had to be carved, first of all, in wax. And then we had to make a mold for it. And then we had to pour the white chocolate into it. And then apply the white chocolate. So a cake like this is about 4 to 5 months of intense preparation to make. You see these pieces, or the arches, those are made of metal and then covered in the icing and then iced on top. So it becomes a seamless integration. And you've got a metal, because that cake's about 7.5 feet tall. So there's a metal infrastructure inside the entire cake so that it will be able to stand upright. Not an easy thing to create. And of course, you also notice you can't use the same mold twice, because each time you go up a tier, the characters become smaller. So there's no repeating anything. So it's truly a work of art. I went forward 1 second. I don't think I can go back. I can only go forward. Oh, there we go. So this is our white shimmer collection, I think. Look how beautiful the beading is in the back of these chairs. Isn't that incredible? You do not see, there's not another country, there's not another company at an all-inclusive that provides this type of style or this glamour or this quality. Beautiful, isn't it? Chic and sophisticated. And do you remember the housewife from Atlanta, Kim Zolciak?
Yes.
Yes. Well, let's not talk any further. But this was the inspiration for that wedding. And see, you can see it's the identical fabric. Elegant ivory. Look how beautiful the back of those chairs is. Oh, sorry. Look how gorgeous that is. It tends to float in the air completely. It's very ethereal, very romantic, very dreamy, very whimsical. And those tables are just too beautiful for words. My inspiration for that came from a wedding that we did in Mexico, in Cabo San Lucas, and using the exact same back of the chair, exact same fabric. This, I think, what we're looking at now, is so chic and so elegant.
Yeah, I like this one too.
Something's biting me too. Look how beautiful that print looks, particularly if you must see this when the sun is setting on the beach. It really comes alive. I think it's a big dose of style and a big dose of glamour. Round and the square together. And this was inspired by Robin Amber's wedding. There were the people you might remember who won Amazing Race and they won Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
This was the inspiration of a wedding we did in Anguilla. And of course, what would the hard rock be without a rock and roll collection? So this is my version of what Missoni had done with the Missoni fabric. We created a custom fabric specifically for hard rock. And there's a beautiful background catching the light as the sun sets. It's also a real fun and popular collection we created. And my inspiration from that came from a party they were in Barbados a year before, the black and white. So all of these things have provenance. They didn't just come out of the sky. They came from great ideas. So now I'd love to hear from you and answer any questions. How are we all doing? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Thank you.